This may be the best bottle of Lagavulin Islay Malt Scotch Whisky I've ever had. Welcome to another episode of Erik Wait Whiskey Studies, and in this video I'm going to review the Lagavulin personally selected the distillery team Islay Single Malt Scotch Whisky. Now, when I visited Islay in June 2018 and went to Lagavulin Distillery, I brought home several special bottles. I brought back home a bottle of the Fish Ale edition. I brought back a bottle of the Lagavulin Jazz, and I brought home two of these bottles, one of which I gave to Scott and Bart of Scotch Test Dummies for their 5th anniversary. And this has actually been sitting on my shelf since then. I tasted it. We did a live uncorking with Scott and Bart, but I haven't done a review of it myself. And thus far, I have really been enjoying this, and it may be one of the best bottles I've ever had from Lagavulin. But before I get into this, here are my notes. Lagavulin Distillery Team 2017 edition. Information on this whiskey is a little challenging to come by, but here is what I was able to find on the internet. It was aged in ex-bourbon and muscatel wine casks. Although it is a non-age statement bottle, it is aged at least 16 years. It is bottled at 54.1% alcohol by volume, says so right on the bottle. It is non-chill filtered and has no added coloring. Production was limited to 7,500 bottles, and it is extremely difficult to get on the secondary market. However, if I recall correctly, I paid around £100 at the distillery, which is quite a deal. So, got a nice tight little cork there. One of the challenges of doing a video like this is, to state the obvious, since it is a distillery team edition, a distillery owned edition, the only place you can get it is at the distillery, or very few retail stores have bottles available. But once these bottles leave the island, the prices typically double. So these are near impossible to get. And when the whiskey is this absolutely fantastic, the result is people get upset. Why are you reviewing a whiskey that I can't get? And people just get pissed off at me, right? And so, that's why I say, don't hate me if you can't get a bottle. And I'm sorry that this is probably one of the best Lagavulins I've ever had, and you can't get one. Sorry. So why review it?
You're an asshole. You're an asshole. Yes, you're an asshole. You're an asshole. You're an asshole. Yes, you're an asshole.
Because one of the things I try to do is motivate people to travel, to go visit other distilleries, and to just let you know, hey, there are other bottles out there. And the truth is, there are bourbons here in the United States that a lot of people can't get. There are Canadian whiskeys that never make it out of Canada. There are Japanese whiskeys out there that are very expensive, or very rare, or hard to get a hold of. So the fact that I'm reviewing a whiskey that you may not be able to get.
You're an asshole. You're an asshole. Yes, you're an asshole. You're an asshole. You're an asshole. Yes, you're an asshole.
Hey, welcome to the world of whiskeys, fine and rare whiskeys. But I hope you get some value out of this video. Anyway, so one of the interesting things about this, as you saw in my notes, is it spent some time in a muscatel cask. What is muscatel? Muscatel is part of the Muscat family of grapes. There's a wide range of Muscat grapes, Muscat Alexandria, Muscat Canelli, and I can go on and tell you about different Muscat grapes. Generally speaking, they produce sweeter wines. And you definitely get that on the nose. If I was smelling this blind, I would think maybe they spent some time in a Madeira cask. Maybe they spent some time, in a Marsala cask, some sort of sweet fortified wine. So Muscatel is not a fortified wine, but it is a sweeter wine, and you get those on the notes. Loads of honey, real nice caramel notes. There's Melted Snickers bar. There's a little bit of that salty sea breeze. There is sort of a caramelized peaches that maybe have some brown sugar put on it. So it's very dessert-like on the nose. So I get some chocolate in there as well. There is peat, of course, and smoke interwoven, but it's really counterbalanced with all these sweet chocolate, caramel, vanilla, and then the fruit notes of caramelized peaches and honey and apricots and all kinds of stone fruits, apples and pears. Another thing I get on it is, have you ever had quince? Quince is a fruit that kind of looks like a cross between an apple and a pear. The fruit, when ripe, tends to be really, really, really hard. So you tend not to want to just bite into a quince. And to really enjoy quince, you need to cook them. So have you ever had quince that has been cooked and then have maybe a glaze put on it? I get that on the nose. There's a little bit of nuttiness. All right, on the palate. Wow. It is really, really sweet, really seductive, really, really layered, really creamy, really smooth. An awesome transition from the entry to the mid to the finish. I get melted Snicker bar. I get the sort of glazed quince. I do get some apple, maybe apple pie, maybe a little peach cobbler. I get lighter caramels, chocolate, vanilla, and some real nice honey notes on it as well. If you're not into sweeter whiskeys, maybe you might not like this as much, but overall, this is super seductive, very, very, very dangerous because you could just drink this and drink this and drink this. And at 54.1% alcohol by volume, it's not showing any bite, any burn, any sort of, that alcohol burn. Yeah, I get a little bit of warmth in the chest, but other than that, it is just drinking absolutely spectacular. Now, what I'm going to give this in terms of a score, I'm going to give it 94 points. 94 points. This is absolutely spectacular. And I'm glad I bought 2 of them and gave one away to Scott and Bart. But now I regret that I didn't buy 3 of them and have another one, a backup for myself. But a lot of times when you visit the distilleries and you see the distillery exclusives, they aren't pouring them to taste because the production is real low. This was only 7,500 bottles. So basically, you just have to say, you know what, it's a rare bottle. I'm sure I'm not going to regret. And the prices aren't bad either. I think I might have spent around 100 pounds. So the prices at the distillery tend to be extremely reasonable. So you're not going to regret picking up an absolutely spectacular whiskey. So if you ever make it to Lagavulin Distillery, and maybe even if it's not the same release, and you see a distillery team bottling, you're definitely going to want to jump on it. Alrighty, I hope you have enjoyed this review. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Share with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and other social networking channels. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And ring the bell so you'll be notified when I go live again with a live review or post a new video. All right, until next time, cheers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and check out these other whiskey videos.